Hello everyone, welcome back to Whole Food Gamer. Today I'm going to introduce you to something that not everybody knows about or has heard about. This has kind of turned into breakfast week, so I'm going to continue that theme for Friday's video. This is something so I live on the East Coast, considered the southern part of the United States, but really it's kind of right there in the middle, in Virginia. This is something that originated in Virginia, and you can't find it everywhere. I've done a lot of research to try and find a place where anyone can go to and order this stuff, so it doesn't matter where you live in the world. I've only found a couple places, and it's very expensive to get in this method. There's no easy way to do it, unfortunately. It's just expensive, and you gotta buy it in bulk. However, it's worth it. It's worth it. If you want the links to find this particular product so you can try it out for yourself and call me a saint or a liar or whatever you want to call me, this is the best thing from a breakfast standpoint that I've ever tasted next to bacon. Bacon is obviously its own thing, but this is a manufactured product. And again, we're going whole food on this channel, but this is using whole foods for the most part. We're going low carb as well, and there is a little bit of cornmeal in this, so you have to use it in moderation if you're kind of joining me in my journey here and trying to watch what you eat and lose some weight and get healthier. However, this is one of those things that, you know, when you have something that you just absolutely love, like whether it be coffee or, you know, something, right? One of those line in the sand items where you're just, you know you're not gonna give it up. You just need to make sure that you eat it in moderation. This is that product, okay? For me, anyway, for me. This is the product that I cannot live without, all right? So I'm gonna show it to you really quick. It's a product that a lot of manufacturers make over here where I live at. There's a best one. There's a best one, and this is what I'm talking about. So, SCRAPPLE. I don't know if you've ever heard of it or seen it or heard somebody say that they've had it. I know that a lot of you that follow my gaming channel, that, you know, we talk on Discord and everything. I've cooked this during those calls, and this is without a doubt one of the best tasting foods I've ever had. It's made, the word scrapple came from the fact that what they used to do is just loaded up with all the scraps. So the scraps from all the different meats, particularly pigs. So they would just load it all up, process it together, and put it into a mold. This is the product and what it looks like. It's very gray. It does not look very appetizing in the package, but once you cook it, it's so good, okay? So the way that I cook it, there's a couple different ways that you can cook it. I'll tell you the way that I do, and I'll show you how I cook it. But from a brand standpoint, this is the best tasting Scrapple I've ever come across. This is the one I grew up on. As far as, you know, growing up with my family, we had Scrapple all the time. So this is the brand, Rappa Scrapple. There's tons of other brands out there. I've tried most, if not all of them. This is the one that has tasted the best for me. This is my favorite brand. And again, if you want to get this particular brand, the link is in the description below if you want to go check it out and see if it's something you want to try. It's not cheap, guys. Like, this is cheap. This was $5 at my local grocery store. So if you have a grocery store near you that has this, you can get it for relatively inexpensively. But if you don't live in an area where Scrapple is sold, which is a good chunk of the globe, this is a very local product, you would have to go onto Amazon, and they do have this on Amazon. They'll ship it to you, but I gotta tell you, it's not cheap. So just go check it out if you want it. Again, link is in the description below. But the way to cook this is you basically cut it. So you're gonna cut it like a loaf, and you can cut it in different ways and give it different flavors and textures. So if you want it more of a crispy, like chip almost, you can actually do it that way, where you cut it very thinly, so that when you cook it, it crisps up and kind of shrinks into a flat, crisp of Scrapple, and the flavor is insanely intense when you do it that way. And you can just sit there, and again, this has gotten me in trouble in the past. This you can sit here and eat all day. Luckily, my kids have grown up on it too, and they love it. So I can't eat, you know, half of this package by myself. But you can if you're by yourself, or if you're a significant other, which my wife doesn't like Scrapple. So until the kids came along, I had to try and, you know, moderate myself, which was very difficult because I love this. But you can cook it. You can cook it by slicing it into very thin slices. But the best way to have this, I love making breakfast sandwiches with this, but then also just having it with some very runny eggs. So in between over easy and over medium, or sunny side up, would work really well with this, because what happens is the yolk kind of meshes with this product, the Scrapple, and it just, the texture is amazing, the flavors are amazing. I'm gonna cook it both ways for you and show you what this looks like during the process, and then certainly at the end I'll show you as well. And I also, what I usually do when I cook this, when I'm trying to be healthy, I'll throw some spinach in there too, just to give it some greens, which again, on this channel, every meal that we eat is going to have greens in it. So this will have some spinach in it as well. I'm gonna have spinach, runny eggs, and Scrapple. That is, if I had to pick my favoriteest breakfast, my mostest favoritist breakfast, this would be it. Scrapple with eggs and some spinach, or a nice sandwich with toasted bread. And again, Scrapple, eggs, and spinach. And again, we're not eating bread, like regular bread on this channel, so I'm gonna go the first way. We're gonna do the spinach, we're gonna do the Scrapple, and we're gonna do the eggs. I hope you guys enjoy watching this and learning from it. And again, if you are able to get your hands on this stuff, you're welcome. You're welcome. So what I've done is I've loaded the pan up here. As you can see, I've got the thinner slices over here and then the thicker ones over here. These will be more of like the chip style texture, and then these will have more of like a porchetta almost texture to it. Very crispy on both sides of the patty, but the thicker ones will have a nice, mushy, warm center. You want to cook it all the way through, obviously, but you cook this just like bacon. So you'll have it on one side for about 5-6 minutes, then you flip it over, do the same thing. And with the thinner ones, when you do that, it basically turns into a little crisp, like a chip almost. Whereas these, again, turn into more of like a porchetta, where you can cut into it and it's got crispiness on both sides. You get that crunch texture, but in the middle, it's nice and soft and melty and velvety. And again, I'm not eating all of this. This is gonna be for the kids and myself. All together on this board here, we're probably looking at almost 900 to 1,000 calories and maybe 50 to 60 carbs. So I'm gonna have like 2 of these. I'm gonna have one crispy and one thick, and then that'll be about maybe 300 calories and about 10 to 15 carbs. So that's well within what I'm looking to do. And again, I'm gonna pair this up with spinach, and I'm going to have nice runny eggs to go along with this. It turns it really velvety, and it's really good. As you can see, I've got my bowl of delicious scrapple eggs and spinach in front of me. I brought over an extra piece here just to show you. This is one of the thin pieces that I made. I just wanted to show you the difference between the thick ones and the really thin ones. So as you can see, it's very crispy. It's really crispy, like the edges here. You can hear it crisp. You can eat these like chips. Like you can see, they're not floppy. They're really firm and crisp. Whereas if we look at these here, especially this one right here, like it's really thick. Like, so you open it up and you can see how mushy it is. And then with the egg yolk that I made extra here, I made extra runny. It kind of, you just want to chop it up a little bit and mesh it with the spinach there. As you can see, I'm creating basically the best breakfast bite that you will ever have. You've got the spinach, you get a little spinach in there, the eggs, the scrapple. This is basically the best bite you will ever have for breakfast in your life. All right, now that I'm zoomed up a little bit, let's give it a try. All right, people, you're probably gonna hear some noises that are probably not safe for YouTube because this is so good. You can taste all the different spices I added to the eggs, which I used the same spicing that I used in my breakfast scramble for the first video that we did. But with the scrapple, it's got this extra texture with the crispy and the, I don't want to say mushy because that's got like a negative connotation, but it's soft and crispy. It's nice and warm. The flavor from the scrapple is amazing. Again, if you have never tried scrapple, you've got to try it. It'll change your life. And again, it's not the best, so this is kind of a treat. I've been good all week. This is kind of a treat for me to have something that I know that I will need for myself. It's just so tasty, and it's not too bad for you. The cornmeal is the worst part. I will, in a future video, make an extreme low carb version of this, because all it really is chicken livers, chicken hearts, pork shoulder, and cornmeal, basically. That's the ingredients of scrapple. Again, it used to be, when scrapple was first invented, it was all the extra parts of pigs and chickens and things like that just mushed together into a patty. But as it evolved, it basically turned into a nice quality meat, but they retained the name of scrapple. So you get the benefit of really, really good quality taste and food with kind of a funny name. So I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you've enjoyed the first week of videos that we've had on this channel. Again, this kind of turned into breakfast week. Next week, I'm gonna be making more dinner-oriented recipes for you guys to try out at home for yourself and follow along. And again, they will all be low-carb, whole food-based foods and ingredients so that you guys can join me on this weight loss journey. I haven't weighed myself yet. I'll start doing the weight loss stuff next week as far as showing the scale and all that good stuff. I don't know if I've necessarily lost much weight this week, but I definitely feel better. I feel like I'm not as sluggish as I have been in the past. I'm putting better ingredients in my body, and that's definitely helping. So we'll start hopefully seeing the numbers drop as well as we start really zoning in on eating very, very healthfully. So hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers, have a good one. Take care.